Is your English okay, but not great? Are you trying to actually learn how to speak English better than your current level? If yes, then you're watching the right video. You do not need to study for several hours per day. Honestly, all you need is a simple 5-minute daily routine. Just 5 minutes per day, and you will go from the intermediate level to the advanced level in English over a certain time horizon. But you must use your time the right way. In this video, I'll show you what the right way means, and I'll walk you through the simple 5-step process. Step number 1, and this is important, you need to focus on the one aspect of English that you need to improve upon the most. Now, for most of you, especially those who are around the intermediate level, you can probably understand English really well, but speaking is much more difficult for you. In other words, you feel stuck whenever you need to express yourself. Unfortunately, this is pretty common. The simple solution to your problem is simply just to focus in and dial in on the aspect of speaking and communication in English. You should be focusing on that much more than any of the other skills. Your brain is going to pick up on one aspect of the English language much more efficiently than learning 10 different aspects of the English language all at the same time. You can use other drills that work and exercise all of your English skills simultaneously at the same time. But in this particular scenario, if you are at the intermediate levels of English and you're reading, you're listening, your vocabulary, your grammar, and all of your other skills are really good, but your speaking is just stuck, honestly, focus on the speaking more than everything else. Also, when you focus on your speaking, keep in mind that what you need to work on specifically can vary depending on what your native language is. For example, if your native language is French, you may have a very difficult time pronouncing the letter H in the English language. Even if your native language isn't French, people who come from many different backgrounds also have a very difficult time pronouncing words with the letters TH in it. If this is something you struggle with, you should honestly set aside a little bit of time just to practice pronouncing those sounds in particular. Which leads to step number 2, which is copying a native English speaker. In other words, use the shadowing technique. If you're not sure what the shadowing technique is, it's incredibly simple. Listen to a native English speaker say something and then repeat it. That's it. Practicing speaking in English by using the shadowing technique does not need to take several hours. It can literally take less than 1 minute. You can simply just pull up YouTube Shorts, search for any topic that interests you that's done by a native English speaker, and then watch and repeat what they say after the YouTube short. Another way you can use the shadowing technique is by actually following along with the subtitles as you're watching the YouTube short. You can say the subtitles as they pop up on the screen at the same time as the person speaking is saying them. That is really it. It's that simple. There is one small nuance that I will say, which is I would recommend that the media that you choose to shadow is based on realistic content, such as an interview or a podcast with native English speakers communicating. This is going to simulate more realistic dialogue in English, whereas a cartoon or a dramatic TV show or movie is going to simulate dialogue that is a lot less realistic and that you probably will never use in real life. As simple as this step is, you would be surprised at how many English learners fail to do this consistently. You could literally watch a few 30-second YouTube shorts every day and just shadow what they're saying and practice exercising your mouth to speak out loud. If you actually exercise your mouth to practice speaking every single day, I promise you, you are already doing better than the average English learner. Most English learners do not do this consistently, which is why most English learners struggle, especially with the skill of speaking. It's very easy for anybody to pick up their phone and listen to a bunch of English media, but it is very uncomfortable and unnatural at first to actually train your mouth to start speaking out loud like an English speaker. This leads to step number 3, which is you need to speak spontaneously at every single opportunity that you get. At any opportunity you get to use impromptu speaking, meaning that you are speaking spontaneously off the top of your head, you need to take these opportunities. This does not need to take you many hours to do, and you do not need to sit and have a 2-hour conversation with a native English speaker. You can literally do this all by yourself. This not only trains your mouth how to speak in English, but it also trains your brain to form opinions and express them out loud and think in English spontaneously. There are 2 incredibly easy ways to do this in 1 minute or less. The first way is you can just pull up a clip of a podcast on YouTube Shorts. Usually in these clips, the interviewer will ask a question to the person they're interviewing, and then the person will answer. You can watch it once, observe how the person answered, and then you can express yourself how you would answer that same question. You can express it spontaneously as if you were the person being interviewed, as if you were in the room having a conversation with that person. Another incredibly simple way you can do this in less than 1 minute is just by asking yourself open-ended questions. Examples of open-ended questions could be, how was your day? And specifically, what did you do? And how did it make you feel? Another open-ended question could be, describe what you want your life to look like in the next 5 years or the next 10 years. Simply just use one of those 2 methods every single day. You can easily accomplish this in less than 5 minutes per day. This leads to step number 4, which is you need to find or identify and fix the mistakes that you're making with your speaking in English, or whichever one aspect that you're trying to work on the most. Now, if you're at the intermediate levels, especially the upper intermediate level, around B2, I would say, you can honestly see a lot of the mistakes you're making just by recording yourself speaking and then watching the recording back. If you record yourself speaking and answering, let's say, an open-ended question or an interview question that you saw on a podcast, you'll be able to compare your answer with another native English speaker's answer to that question and really see the differences in your communication and their communication. If you're around the B2 level or above, you should be pretty clear with the specific words that you have a hard time pronouncing and that you have a hard time articulating. If you don't feel comfortable grading your own English with a recording, then you should find a way to connect with a native English speaker in order to get their feedback. Now, native English speakers are pretty easy to find on the internet with free language exchange applications. Alternatively, if you want help with your English, you could always just message me too on Instagram at arc.english, and I will do whatever I can to make sure I can help you. And step number 5 is simply just to reinforce the one aspect of English that you're learning, to make it very strong and cement it in your brain. Also, by the way, if you found this video to be useful or this channel to be useful in general, please like the video, as it will help tell the YouTube algorithm that this video is useful for English learners around the world. To reinforce the skill of speaking in English is quite simple, and honestly, you should try to express your thoughts in both a written and spoken format. Even if you just use the Notes application on your phone, or you pull up a Microsoft Word document or a Google Doc on your computer, you should practice typing out or texting out your thoughts as well, just as you would speak them. Written communication and verbal communication really go hand in hand. There are two different ways to apply all of the skills that you've learned up until that point. In addition, you're going to have a much higher probability of remembering and retaining information that you physically apply and that you physically do by speaking or writing, typing, or texting, as opposed to things that you just observe passively, like listening or reading something. So, to recap the 5 steps, step number 1, pick one aspect of English that you want to improve upon. For most of you, that's going to be speaking and or communication. Step number 2, copy a native English speaker. Just use the shadowing technique. It's incredibly simple and it's really effective and works. Step number 3, speak spontaneously whenever you have the opportunity at any point throughout each day. Step number 4, find and fix any of the mistakes that you're making. If you're at the B2 level, you can just record yourself on a video. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can message me or connect with any other native English speaker who's willing to help you. And step number 5, make that one aspect that you're learning really strong, cements it in your brain by reinforcing what you have learned. This is pretty simple, and it can easily take you less than 5 minutes per day to go through these steps. If you do this 5-minute daily routine every day, it will be like a snowball. It will eventually progress and you'll get better and better and better to the point where you are no longer classified as an intermediate English learner. You will then be at the advanced level before you even know it. If you do this every day, you will eventually improve. By the way, let me know in the comments where you're from and what your native language is. I'm curious to know. I will also be releasing a free training giving you more details on how you can learn English faster than literally 99% of all of the other English learners around the world. If you want to be notified once that comes out, you can click the link somewhere in the pinned comment or the description below. I also noticed that a lot of you guys use language learning apps to help improve your English skills. These can sometimes be good or bad. If you want to learn the truth about language learning apps, then be sure to watch the next video on the screen.